before I get started, I have to say, Coach Tanner talked about the recruiting process, but he failed to mention something that made a major impact in me in my decision to come to South Carolina. And he talked about Coach Toman, and he's battling cancer right now, and certainly please remember him in your prayers, as he meant the world to me and many of us players at South Carolina and other coaches in the state. He's just a wonderful man. But I got a handwritten letter starting in the 9th grade. I went to a camp at NC State, and when Coach Tanner was there, and every week, literally every Monday in the mail, I got a handwritten letter from Coach Tanner or Coach Toman, and then eventually Coach Myers as well. And that made a huge impact on me because it just felt like it was a different touch. I didn't get that from every coach out there, but Coach Tanner was certainly relentless in his recruiting process to get me to come to South Carolina. I stand before you today deeply honored and incredibly humbled to be inducted into the South Carolina American Legion Baseball Hall of Fame. This recognition isn't just about personal achievement. It's a reflection of the coaches who invested in me, the teammates who pushed me, and the family who supported me every step of the way. But before I say anything else, I want to make it absolutely clear. All glory belongs to God. Without Him, none of this would be possible. Every opportunity, every moment, every blessing in my life has come through His grace. I stand here today not because of my own strength or achievements, but because of His faithfulness. I want to share one of my favorite verses in the Bible. This is a part in Jesus' farewell speech to His disciples the night before His crucifixion. John 15:5 says, "I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing." I was very fortunate to grow up in a Christian home with the best mom and dad and older brother a kid could imagine having. They always told me the most important thing was to believe in myself, and that if I wanted something, whether in sports or in life, I had to work my tail off for it. I thank God every day for them and the incredible role models they were for me, both on and off the field. American Legion Baseball was more than a game. It was a foundation for life. It taught me discipline, teamwork, and perseverance. It shaped my character in ways that extended far beyond the diamond. I learned that success isn't measured just by wins and stats, but by the relationships you build, the lessons you carry, and the impact you leave behind. Thinking back to one of my favorite college memories, my senior year at South Carolina, Coach Tanner decides to put me in against Clemson with the bases loaded in a 2-0 count. Smart coaching, right? That was Jeff Baker, Khalil Green, and Michael Johnson, by the way, Coach Tanner. 3, 4, and 5. Appreciate it. That moment was a perfect example of me having to lean on God, and boy, did I. I was confident as a player, and I believed in myself, but I can promise you, my best friend, Jesus Christ, was right there with me all the way. I was praying nonstop, "Lord, just please give me the power and strength to get through this. My teammates need me." And by God's grace, I got out of the inning unscathed and went on to win the game. And we were all celebrating. It was a great moment. Probably my favorite memory as a Gamecock. But probably the best part of that story is when Coach Tanner tried to take me out of the game. I think it was the 8th inning, and we put up about a 6 spot, and he wanted to take me out because he probably wanted to start me again on Friday night. We had some battles. That was one of them, and I think I actually won that one, Coach Tanner. Yeah, I ended up going on and finishing the game that night, and it was just a a memory I'll never forget. I also remember a time I went down and played winter ball in Venezuela 4 years in the off season. And for those of you who don't know much about Venezuela and winter ball, the professional winter leagues in Dominican, Puerto Rico, as well as Venezuela, is very passionate. We had 30,000 fans at the games. I remember I was pitching an all-star game, and the big cat, Andres Galarraga, comes in the locker room right before, probably 45 minutes before the game, and I was starting, so I was only going to throw an inning, and he was coming up fourth, and I thought, big cat's like, Kip, hey, just throw me nothing but fastballs. I'm like, I grew up, and, Andres Galarraga was a guy I watched on TV. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get to the big leagues, man. I've been in double and AAA for 3 or 4 years at the time, and I'm trying to get big leagues, and you want me to do nothing but those fastballs. And on our jersey that night, it was Andres Galarraga night, so it was a really cool moment. And long and the short of it, he ended up telling the rest of his teammates, and I had to go out and throw nothing but fastballs to these guys. In the first inning, the first guy hit it over the left fielder's head. The left fielder came in on it. It was a seat, probably 112 off the bat. And anyways, it ended up being runner on third base, 1 out. I struck out, and Miguel Cabrera comes up. I'm thinking, what in the world am I going to do? Obviously, I prayed, and then Galarraga came up, and I'll never forget this moment. 30,000 people were going crazy. It's the last night he'd ever played a professional game, so we had a Galarraga patch on our jersey, and they're giving him a standing ovation, and I looked at him, and he's grinning at me, and I stepped off the mound, and I just gave a fastball sign, and we all laughed really a lot about that. But 5 pitches later, I struck him out, and you could have heard a pin drop. And my wife was there, and I think she was worried we were about to get shot or something. They were not too happy. Luckily, the next time through, he came through the order. He hit a double, and they brought out a podium, and it was a 30-minute speech. It was nuts. To my amazing 2 sons, Case and Sumter, of all the achievements I've been blessed and honored to receive, my greatest accomplishment is you. God has blessed me with 2 of the best young men a dad could ever dream of having. And you, Dee, my loyal and lovely wife and best friend, thank you for being my #1 fan and keeping me straight all these years.